Nostalgia Hoops, Nostalgia Sports and Culture. Happy Sunday. Everybody like, share, subscribe for me. Give me in the algorithm. Talking Las Vegas Aces, Chicago Sky, now 8-1 Aces, final score 83 Aces, 76 for the Chicago Sky. They're now 4-3. Big thing for this matchup, I would say, as far as system, execution, talent, I would compare this to WNBA versus NBA level. So for a WNBA good team, Chicago is solid. But going up against an NBA system, getting pushed into NBA play, this is where you see the difference. And if you be like, what's the big difference right now between the WNBA and the NBA? And I would say pace and efficient 3-point shooting. And not that some teams can't, and not that some players can't do it at a high level. And we're seeing that, and we're seeing the game is changing. But I'm still saying you still have a lot of teams that aren't executing to that high level on the 3-point line, and they can get away with it and even win a championship. I mean, at one point, Chicago Sky had missed like 12 threes. They finished 5 of 31 from three. And this is horrible. And this is the difference between right now a high level at the WNBA and a high level at the NBA level. Becky Hammond's coming from the NBA, implementing the NBA system, has the proper talent to do so. Uh, I would say coming out, Hamby was the only thing that I did. She took like two contested inside shots that I didn't like. Asia Wilson got it going early, more so than I had seen in other games that I watched. Plum was there setting the tone, pulling in people face. Gray pulling in people face. There was a point where Gray was just looking everybody off. Jackie Young was wide open, and she just still took the ISO. It was like at a point where she turned it on, took everything personal, ended up finishing with 18 points, 6 to 12 from the field, 1 to 3 from three. Kelsey Plum, it looked like she hit more threes on my mind, but maybe it was some deep twos too. So she was only 2 or 4, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 assists for Gray as well. Asia Wilson set the tone, getting busy inside, getting busy off the dribble. She still has to work on that 3-point shot, and once she does that, she's going to be totally unstoppable. She was 0 of 3 from three. Hamby was 0 of 4. I don't want to see nobody 0 of nothing. It's not that it don't happen on the NBA level, but I just think with a smaller ball and a shorter 3-point line, it really shouldn't be an issue. And they make it big like, oh, so and so 6'5", it can shoot. Steph Curry 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". Like that shouldn't be a celebrated thing. It should be a norm. And I wanted to see more and more it become a norm in the WNBA. Hamby was plus 19, Asia Wilson plus 14, Gray plus 16. Wow, surprisingly, Plum, who was very aggressive, her plus minus was only plus one. Jackie Young plus 7. She had They were running her off the 3-point line and making her go inside, and she was taking a lot of contested layups. I feel like you don't have to do that. It's just weapons all around you. So, kick it out, reset everything, and see what you can get from there. Even if it's not going or they're not allowing you to hit that three, stop at level two, see what's there. If it's nothing there, you can stop and go, in which I seen a great stop and go play, I want to say, by Wilson. And I want to say Plum had a nice stop and go play as well. 36 minutes, big minutes still playing. I think they're going to have to find some way to maybe take these minutes down to prevent injury. I mean, but with a shorter season, maybe it won't, maybe they won't wear out. But they're saying they're in great shape. They love to play. So evidently their strength and conditioning is on point. They're hitting a three for the most part at a high level. They were 4 of 20. So they was turning Chicago over, and they sped them up, and I feel like Chicago needed to keep the pace slow, and that they tried to get into a 3-point game with this team, and I think that's the wrong thing to do. You attack them from the inside, but after they weren't hitting early, they started to like pack the paint, and when you would see players drive, it would be like a swarm around them. But you don't always have to settle for three. If it's not hitting, step in and take that deep mid range. We seeing teams even in the NBA, like to succeed at that level. Jimmy Butler's not a big 3-point shooter. DeRozan's not a big 3-point shooter. Chris Paul, kind of like you don't have to settle for the 3-point shot if that's just not that. Some nights it's gonna go, but some nights you just got to step in and try to get you a little bit longer three. I know the analytics and maybe coaching is even speaking against that, but you got to do what's comfortable for you to give your team the best chance of winning. Parker was had 11 points, 11 rebounds. I didn't really see her much this game. She was 4-15, 1 to 8 from three. Wow, that was horrible. Dana Evans was pulling some deeps. Like she had 5 points, 1 to 3 from three. I think she hit one of them. Gardner was a standout to me. She had 11 points. I like what I seen from her. I think I probably would have wanted to see more from Stevens. She had 7 points, 10 rebounds in a game like this. I probably want her taking the most attempts, just beating them up, attacking inside. I probably would have had her starting this game. I think they wanted more to stretch the floor, but I would have been more dominate the paint. Everything would have been centered around trying to get paint actions, cut, post up, and however it went. But you seen the Mystics that had success against the Aces. It was a lot of, not to say they ain't hit no shots outside, but it was also taking the advantage of that vulnerability in the paint. I just don't think they're a strong paint team, and I think once you start seeing some stuff go down inside, you start getting you some fouls, then it can open up that confidence to hit those 3-point shots. Uh, Anything else? Copper had 12 points. She was 5 of 12. Any good plus minuses from the starters? No, Evans was a +2. Bench really no product. It's really all starters from the Aces, and I just think a deep team in the playoffs like the Mystics could knock them off, and Connecticut's looking good too. So I'm gonna dive more into Connecticut. Haven't covered them yet. Ca- I gotta sit down and really watch Connecticut. So in the next few days, I'm gonna be going over a lot of film with them. And yeah, man, let me know what you thought about the game. Like, share, subscribe. This is a possible finals matchup. I don't think Chicago makes it back. I don't. I don't. I think they have the pieces, but I just think there's some other teams that are a bit stronger. I think Las Vegas will make it on it, depending on matchup. But if they can avoid Washington, I think they make it to the championship with their NBA style of play, their Golden State Warriors pace and space style of play. But Chicago, I don't know. They're right there, but they can turn it around later. They can turn it up, and when they turn it up and really lock in, and Candace Parker gets going, and they're talking and communicating. I just didn't see that energy last night. I think it was there for a spark, but it's like they were tired or something. So it's more games to go in the season. We'll see teams come together and really find their identity for this year. Even the Aces were saying that Asia did an interview. She was saying that they still haven't settled in their identity. Late in the game, I don't know if somebody bet or what, but I know late in this game, did they just stop playing? It was like some turnover just looked like they was trying to get Chicago back in the game. I'm not sure it's because they was on national TV or somebody put a little money on the game on the points, or I'm not sure what, or the minus, because I think it was like a -7. So I'm not sure what, but it looked a little weird at the end of the game. I want to see them close out strong, and I don't want to see no team on TV giving suspicion of you know playing the odds. So solid performance from Vegas. Wilson was looking like the MVP. I think her playing in the system shouldn't affect her value in that conversation. I know Jackie Young was in talks. It seemed like Gray wanted to put her name in the conversation. I mean, this team is just so good and how they're playing, and with the lack of production from the bench, that it may come at the end of the year if they keep winning like this that you have to put the whole starting five for MVP. But shout out to the Aces, shout out to Becky Hammond, Asia Wilson, Big Dog, 16 rebounds, 6 of 9 from the free throw line, 8 of 19 from the field, 22 points plus 14. Like, share, subscribe. Nostalgia Hoops, Nostalgia Sports and Culture. And I'm out.